Welcome to this edition of SAU Weekly, your source for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Ryan Schistel.
And I'm Mary Rose Prosinski.
The SAU community is mourning the loss of Dr. Ann Preston, a retired professor of communications. Dr. Preston came to St. Ambrose in August of 2001 as a full professor in the Department of Communications and retired in May of 2021. She served for many years as department chair and continued to serve as an adjunct faculty member until this month. Dr. Preston was known for combining experiential and service learning so students could develop their skills, while also, quote, learning how to put themselves in someone else's shoes.
Following a series of viral videos on TikTok showing Kias and Hyundais getting stolen across the country, SAU's campus security aims to keep your vehicle safe. SAU Weekly's Alex Stupinski shows us how.
Vehicle safety is a priority on any college campus, but now stealing a car may be as easy as using a thumb drive. And it's caught the attention of our own campus security team. Car theft isn't a new problem, but social media is finding new ways to do it.
Well, one of the things we've seen nationally, and campus sadly has been impacted by it, has been a TikTok challenge. And there were a number of years for Kias and Hyundais, in cases steal and just leave it somewhere. So that's what's caused that increase in actual car theft.
With the social media trend growing, SAU security is responding quickly as well.
You can break the glass and rip off one piece of the front, the dash, and start it with a thumb drive. We've been working with the police department as well as our own team, and we've been spending more time in the lots. So that's the short-term solution, is to get people out quickly. Longer-term solution is we're looking at what our cameras are like in the lots. In fact, I'm in the process of working with a company to get a pilot of a new style of camera that may help us. But those things take more time. Right now, the quickest thing we can do is to get the officers out.
Christopher says you should always lock your car and never leave it running while you're not around. Both car companies also plan to release free software to combat these vehicle thieves. These upgrades are scheduled to be available by June. With SAU Weekly, I'm Alex Stupinski.
Thanks, Alex. On Wednesday, the Campus Activities Board partnered with Impact Life to host a blood drive. Dozens of students, faculty, and staff gathered to donate and meet the need that blood centers are facing. Impact Life says only 1 liter of blood can save up to 3 lives, and that many patients with blood diseases or who need transfusions are grateful for events like this.
You're saving lives. Every donation, every whole blood donation goes towards 3 lives, up to 3 or 4 lives. So it's a lot of people you're helping out.
And some of them are a little giddy. Some of them aren't the biggest fans of needles, but you know, you try to take their mind off of that and remind them that they're doing something really, really good, something special for someone that they'll never even meet.
Donating blood can change the lives of people affected by blood diseases and those in need of a transfusion. Impact Life hosts over 5,000 mobile blood drives each year.
The Rogalski Center Ballroom was buzzing with activity Wednesday evening with hands-on activities to explore science, technology, engineering, art, and math. SAU Weekly's Claire So takes us there.
Curiosity was in the air for these 2nd through 8th grade students.
They are really interested.
Dozens of volunteers stepped up to plant the seed about STEAM, literally.
We're engaging the students in the opportunity to be able to plant their own wildflowers. So they get to put whatever seed they want into a pot. They get to learn about how to take care of it.
But it wasn't just campus organizations who stepped up. For community partners like Dynamic Tube from Kokoda, they see the need to expose kids to STEAM early.
So we think it's really important to be here. It's our first time here this year, and we're super excited about it because I think all the kids need to learn all the different possibilities there is out there for them to do.
Students could find things that match their hobbies.
We are actually kind of letting them know if they like Legos, then what we're doing is kind of like the same thing because we're building things.
Things that parents like Tamara Jacks and her kids can build on.
I wanted them to get a good idea of the sciences and how they can do this in their everyday life and how God's creation is working.
There is something for every kid.
My children are different. I have some that are very technical and some that are very arts.
Students have fun regardless of the outcomes.
I learned how to fly a drone. I sucked at it, but I love doing it. I just like electronics and how to push the buttons and how to fly it.
With SAU Weekly, I'm Claire So.
More than 350 participants attended the event. Funds raised will be used to support the university's STEAM summer camps for middle school and high school students.
A local artist shows us our Midwest winters might not be so bad after all. The Winter Walk With Me collection, painted by Basha Kroll, features winter landscapes that bring color to what's usually been seen as a dull season. The Q&A last Friday allowed the audience not only to hear the motivation behind the collection, but to talk to the artist directly. The gallery curator, Chris Reno, says these artist Q&As are not only entertaining, but provide educational value to the students at St. Ambrose.
Artists in because we think they have something to offer our art students in terms of the work they're making in the classroom. So tying the homework to professional examples is really important to us. So, my goal is to invite an artist in and have them talk about how they make the things, and my hope is that that's inspirational to the students and accessible,
The collection will be in the Morrissey Gallery until March 3rd.
Coming up next in What's the Buzz, Abby Varkalis sits down in studio with one of the directors of Dance Marathon to talk about Push Week as they plan their annual campus fundraiser.
From the campus of St. Ambrose University,
this is ATC5 Dateline.
Welcome to tonight's edition of TV 11's Dateline.
Welcome to this week's edition of Dateline SAU.
Black History Month came to life in Madsen Hall last week. The Black Student Union continued to lead the celebration of Black History Month at St. Ambrose with a talent show. The talent show was produced and performed by students. They put on skits covering events in Black history. They also read important speeches and performed popular dances. A highlight of the evening was a dialogue created with the speeches of Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. The talent show lasted about an hour and a half and was well received by the packed house in Madsen Hall.
Now is the time.
Welcome back. It's been a week full of activities and fundraising for one of our longest running student organizations on campus, Dance Marathon. Today I'm joined by Madison Stark, and she is one of the directors of Dance Marathon. So Madison, tell us about Dance Marathon and why it's so important to SAU.
Yeah, Dance Marathon has been going on for about 11 years now. This is our 11th year. We are a year-round organization on campus that is student-led, and we fundraise for 51 local miracle families who have been treated at the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. And this year we are specifically fundraising for the nursing department at that hospital.
Okay, that's awesome. So you guys just recently had Push Week. How has that been going?
It's been going really well. We've had a lot of student participation and a lot of excitement building up to our Push Day, which is today. So yeah, it's been going great.
Awesome. So what is Push Week? What is that for? Like, what does that do for students and like the organization as a whole?
Yeah, so like I said, we fundraise year round, but for our Push Week, we really just want to build up excitement so that on our Push Day, we can raise as much money as possible. So every year we have a goal for our Push Day, and this year our goal is to raise $31,000 in 24 hours.
So what was raised last year?
Last year we raised $30,000 and $31,000 because we have a fall and spring Push Day. So in the fall we raised a little over $30,000. So we're hoping to do a little bit more.
That's amazing. So how can students get involved in Dance Marathon if they're interested in getting involved?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of social media, so if you go to SAU Dance Marathon on Instagram, you can get about any information about what we're doing, what we're up to, what events are coming up. And also we have our website, so saudm.org. That's where you can register as a participant so that you can come to our big event and all the different events that we have throughout the year. And then also you can apply for committees if you're wanting to be a little more involved. That has a little bit more time commitment, but it's definitely worth it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Madison.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Coming up next in sports, the men's basketball team looks to close their season on a high note during senior night, and the women's basketball team hits the hardwood to begin postseason play. Join SAU Weekly's Claire So as she takes you inside SAU athletics. Stay tuned.
Tune in to KALA and hear something different.
programming that celebrates the diversity of our listeners. We're advocates for the arts, showcasing your favorite music from around the world. We're storytellers, producing award-winning news and educational podcasts. We're dedicated sports fans, bringing you the latest Fighting Bee action from St. Ambrose University. We're a learning lab, mentoring the next generation of broadcasters and content creators. A part of your community for 5 decades. We're KALA Radio, 88.5 FM and 106.1 FM. Turn it on and turn it up.
The men's basketball team may have saved the best for last. On an emotional senior day, it was the Fighting Bees battling South Bend, one of the best teams in the CCAC. The Bees hitting all the right notes in the first half. Guard Will Spriggs finds Jake Friel, who drains a 3 to grab the 40-28 lead. Later, it's Spriggs with the athletic layup to beat the buzzer. Ambrose fans feeling the upset. Into the second half, it's Spriggs, this time to senior Andrew Morrissey for 2 of his game-high 25. More from the Bees, Nathan Muller to Ignacio Dacunda. His 3 makes it 67-55. To cap it off, senior Bryce Boyle comes off the bench to bury a 3 for the exclamation point. The Bees ended the season on a high note, winning 90-75. Hear from the team on this week's episode of Inside SAU Athletics. On Wednesdays, the 6th-seeded St. Ambrose women's basketball team traveled to Illinois to start CCAC tournament play. The Fighting Bees took on the Olivet Nazarene Tigers in the quarterfinals of the CCAC tournament. To start, senior Anna Plummer finds Abby Walter, who drives to the basket and laying it in with her right hand. Ellie Gover followed a right-handed layup of her own. Finally, Caitlin Brunson drives the elbow, delivering a nice pass down low to Olivia Harder for the made basket. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as the Bees end their season with an 82-42 loss. Heading into Monday night's men's volleyball game, the Fighting Bees stood at 2-3 against conference rival St. Xavier. Back at Lee Lohman, the team came into the matchup ready for the W. The Bees start off their attack with a spike from freshman John Gooch. Next, Anthony Anderson sets up Nick Fox for a huge spike. Then Nathan Claus has a nice setup for a Colin Teresi spike. Finally, it's Nick Fox again who gives the Bees a point with a little push shot. But it's not enough, as the Bees were swept in 3 sets. The Fighting Bees will take on the Kilver Stockton Wildcats this Friday at 7 p.m. Taking a look at our home sporting events this weekend, the softball team will be in the Dome on Saturday hosting a doubleheader for Mount Marty and Aquinas. And on Sunday, the softball will again be hosting a doubleheader for Mount Marty and Mount Mercy. And that'll do it for Inside SAU Athletics. I'm Claire So.
And that's all we have for you on this edition of SAU Weekly. We'll be back next week with the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
Remember to check out the SAUtv Facebook and Instagram pages for our newscasts, top stories, and more. You can also find them on The Hive at sauthebuzz.com. Thanks for watching.